A man without self-control is a slave. Look around you. Men chained. Not by iron. Not by whips. But by themselves. Slaves to urges. Slaves to screens. Slaves to lust, to food, to anger, to weakness. And yet, they walk proudly, posting, smiling, pretending they are free. But freedom without mastery is just a longer leash. Because the truth is merciless. A man without self-control is not a man. He is a slave. Slavery never died, it just changed form. In the old days, men were shackled by chains. Today, men are shackled by comfort. You think slavery ended? Look again. A man who cannot control his appetites is ruled by them. A man who cannot say no to his urges is owned by them. A man who cannot govern himself will always be governed by someone else. You are not free if you can't stop scrolling. You are not free if you can't stop eating what poisons you. You are not free if you can't control where your eyes wander. You are not free if you can't sit alone in silence without reaching for distraction. You are a prisoner. And the cage is your weakness. The prison of lust. Look at men today. Trapped in endless loops of lust. Clicking, swiping, staring, leaking their life force into screens, fantasies, and empty encounters. Porn has replaced intimacy. Masturbation has replaced creation. Endless chasing has replaced purpose. And the world laughs, because men who cannot control their sexual energy are predictable, weak, and easily manipulated. Do you know why kings of old demanded warriors practice chastity before war? Because a man who wastes his seed is a man who wastes his fire. And a man with no fire is no threat to anyone. Lustful men are slaves. Slaves to the lowest parts of themselves. And every empire, every system, every advertiser knows it. They don't need chains to control you. They only need to control your desire. The prison of appetite. Men eat like kings but live like cattle. Stuffing themselves with poison, sugar, alcohol, empty calories. And then wonder why their energy is dead, their mind foggy, their spirit weak. Understand this. Every time you let your appetite dictate your choices, you are bowing to your stomach as if it were your master. You are not a man. You are a pig waiting for slaughter. Do you think warriors of the past lived like this? They sharpened their bodies through hunger, fasting, scarcity. They turned pain into discipline, discipline into power. They ate to live, not live to eat. And that's why they conquered. While you scroll, eat, repeat, food owns you. You think you are free. But your belly has the leash. The prison of anger. A man without self-control is also a slave to his temper. He explodes at the smallest things. Breaks his own peace. Ruins his relationships. Sabotages his own mission. Why? Because he never mastered the fire within. The enemy doesn't need to defeat him. They just need to provoke him. Look at history. The strongest men were calm under chaos. Julius Caesar. Marcus Aurelius. Miyamoto Musashi. Not because they lacked fire, but because they ruled it. Anger is power. But uncontrolled, it becomes destruction. If you can't govern your emotions, then your enemies already own you. The prison of distraction. A man today can't sit still for 5 minutes without checking his phone. He can't walk without music. Can't wait in silence. Can't be alone with his own mind. He numbs. He scrolls. He binges. He floods his brain with cheap dopamine until real life feels unbearable. This is slavery. Because if you can't focus, you can't build. If you can't concentrate, you can't conquer. Men without focus are tools for men who have it. And that's why empires don't fall anymore, they thrive. Because the masses willingly hand over their attention. And once your attention is gone, your freedom is gone. Why self-control is the highest power. Understand this deeply. Strength isn't how much you can lift. It's how much you can resist. Wealth isn't how much you can buy. It's how little you can be bought with. Freedom isn't doing what you want. It's being able to not do what destroys you. Self-control is the foundation of masculinity. It's the difference between a man who rules his house and a man who can't even rule his own hands. Without self-control, you cannot lead. You cannot inspire. You cannot build. You cannot win. Because if you cannot rule yourself, you have no right to rule anything. The enemy wants you weak. Think hard about this. Why is pornography free? Why is junk food everywhere? Why is distraction infinite? Because a man with no self-control is easy to herd, easy to tax, easy to enslave. Nobody fears the addict. Nobody fears the glutton. Nobody fears the distracted. They fear the man who can endure hunger. They fear the man who can walk away from lust. They fear the man who can master silence. They fear the man who governs himself. Because that man cannot be bought. And he cannot be broken. How to break the chains. You want freedom? Here it is. Discipline is liberation. Start with the small things. Wake up when you said you would. Train even when you don't feel like it. Fast when your body screams for food. Sit in silence when your mind begs for noise. Say no when your flesh says yes. Every small act of self-control is a hammer against the chains. Every victory over yourself is a brick in your empire. And soon, the urges that once owned you become slaves to you. The cost of weakness. If you ignore this, understand what you're choosing. You will live as a slave, chained to your urges, begging for comfort, mocked by life itself. You'll talk about dreams but never chase them. You'll imagine greatness but never taste it. You'll die full of potential and empty of achievement. And the world will not mourn. Because nobody cares about the man who couldn't master himself. The call to rise. But if you rise, if you master your appetites, your urges, your mind, your time, you become something rare. A free man. A dangerous man. A man who is not ruled, but rules. And such a man cannot be ignored. He becomes a leader, whether he speaks or not. He becomes an example, whether he seeks it or not. He becomes a legend, whether he lives or dies. Because in a world of slaves, the man of self-control stands as a king. Final truth. Engrave this into your bones. A man without self-control is a slave. He may look free. He may shout loud. He may flex online. But in the silence of his own mind, he knows the truth. He is chained. Do not let that be your fate. Master yourself. Rule yourself. Command yourself. Because until you do, you will never know freedom. And when you do, you will become unstoppable.